My name is Lorayne Hattal, and this is a persuasive speech to try and have the audience believe that it is better to adopt an animal from an animal shelter rather than to purchase one from a breeder or pet shop. There are, according to the Humane Society of the United States, there are currently 164.6 million dogs and cats currently owned in the United States. Of those, 78.2 million are dogs, 86.4 million are cats. 21% of those have been adopted from animal shelters or rescue groups. 5 to 7 million dogs and cats enter animal shelters every year. Of those, 3 to 4 million are euthanized. By continuing to purchase from breeders and pet shops, we are continuing the overpopulation of animals in the United States, while other animals are being killed every day. I have 3 dogs right here that were rescued from animal groups, rescue groups, because it's the way to go. If you want a purebred dog, there's 25% of the animals in animal shelters right now are purebreds. Each breed also has purebred rescue organizations. Those animals are looking for permanent homes. People need to think about the expense that getting an animal from a breeder or a pet shop, you can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy an animal from a pet shop or a breeder. And you still aren't sure what type of temperament you're going to get. Breeders will, just to make money, they will indiscriminately breed an animal with bad traits, with health issues. They have puppy mills that provide animals to the pet shops. And they're not healthy animals for the most part. A lot of people experience spending a couple of $1,000s on an animal just to get it home for it to die. When you go to a shelter, you have a chance to spend time with the animal. Most of the animals are there not through any fault of their own. It's not because they're there for bad behavior. They're there because the owners could no longer take care of them. In this economy, people have to choose whether they can afford to feed their families or their animals. So the families, of course, are going to come first. And they're going to turn their animal over to the shelters or the rescue groups. They're not there because they were a bad dog, or they had bad behaviors, or they had health issues. When you purchase an animal from a shelter or a rescue group, they've already had vet checks, they've had their shots. Most of the time they come with flea control, and you don't have to spend the money on the vets that you would if you got them from a breeder or a pet shop. Most of the time, an animal is more likely to fit into your family better if you get them at an older age. There's all kinds of puppies. If you want a puppy, there's puppies at the shelters, there's puppies in the rescue groups, because people aren't spaying and neutering their dogs or cats. If you purchase an older animal, or if you get one from a rescue group, then you know what the temperament of the dog is going to be, or the cat. You have a chance to interact with them. You have a chance to see if they will fit in with your family, and you can return them. Most rescue groups will take them back if you don't want them, or they don't fit into your family. They will also, the cost is much, much cheaper. They tend to love you a little bit more, maybe, because they know what it's like to sit in that cage. I personally prefer an older animal to a puppy, because I don't want to go through the housebreaking and the chewing and all of the little things that come with a puppy. But if you want an older animal. You can get it any age, any size. It's much more humane to take an animal out of a cage that it's in 24/7 and give it a permanent home if that's what you're looking for, than it is to go out and say, I want that particular breed and that's all I'm going to get, and it's going to come with papers, and I'm going to breed it. And now you've perpetuated the indiscriminate breeding. You've perpetuated the overpopulation of the animals. Think about the animals that are being euthanized, that through no fault of their own, their owners just turned them loose, or they turned them into a shelter because they couldn't take care of them. Every day, animals are abused and neglected, and the humane societies go into these places and take the animals out of an abusive situation. The animal's sitting in the shelter. It never did anything. It didn't ask to be abused. It didn't ask to be neglected. But it's in a shelter now because the owner wouldn't take care of it, or couldn't take care of it, or they just wanted something to beat on when they had a bad day. And there's nothing wrong with these animals. Every day they come into the shelters, and the shelters are crammed full, but nobody wants them because nobody wanted them to begin with. So where else are they going to go? I would like to see everybody in this audience believe that it is better to adopt and stop the overpopulation, and persuade people that it is better to go to a shelter or a rescue group to adopt your next animal. Thank you.